Hello, and welcome, my friends, to the next video in the Great Better Content series, where I show you how to tap into your creativity so that you can stay consistent with your marketing and learn how to reach more customers. My name is Penny, and I want to guide you through this content development process. It's my goal to talk about more than just engaging content. Everybody can tell you how to create engaging content. But what can we do with our marketing that's actually going to see us move the needle, to make more money, to help us reach more clients? All of that kind of stuff. And if you want to learn more about creativity and how this can come together to develop your marketing plans, I would love it if you would hit that button below and subscribe to this channel. And below, you're going to see in the description box several links. One is for the Content Prompt Playbook. This is a free download. It's for those of you who are already using ChatGPT and you just keep finding that it's very generic, very much it sounds like everybody else. So this is going to give you plug and play prompts that you can just create some questions, some things to get you to actually connect your expertise to what your customers need and then share it in that marketing message. Another link you're going to see is that you can subscribe and join us in the Marketing Strategy Collective. This is my group program that you've probably heard me talk about in other videos, where we get together once a month on a Zoom call. You get a strategic workbook in your inbox every month. It's a supportive group online space, and you can see what really happens with your marketing strategy when you stop working in a solo bubble and work in a community environment. Alrighty, so you see the links below. You know what to do to learn more. Okay, so today's video, we are going to talk about AI, but I want to touch on a different thing that's happening with AI and how I think that this can help you, especially if you are a small business owner. So let's start here. What if I told you that the biggest thing holding your marketing back isn't your content or isn't the algorithm out there? And it's not whatever AI prompt that you typed in earlier this morning. It's probably the fact that your marketing starts over every single Monday. Monday morning, you sit down, you're motivated. You're going to post consistently. You're going to send emails. You're going to follow up with those leads. You're going to improve that website copy. Yes, let's get to it. You know, the idea that you're going to be marketing, you've got this whole plan because this weekend, that's all you thought about was how I'm going to do this differently, how we're going to do this. But by Thursday, client work has come in. Life got busy. That consistency habit thing seems to be waning a little bit. And next Monday, you show up, you're like, that's right, we got a new week. We're doing it all over again. Is that you? Do you see yourself in this story? Because if you do, then this episode is going to help you get your focus back. Instead of creating another to-do list with a whole bunch of check marks in it, instead of me telling you to go download this planner, I want you to think about how you can create something called a 30-day growth habit challenge. And we're going to do this together through this video episode, and I want to show you how to do it using AI. And I don't mean a challenge in the way when you've seen challenges before, like, can you post on Instagram for 30 days? Can you do this, for 10 days in a row? It's not about working harder. What I want you to do with this type of challenge, I'm calling it a growth habit challenge because I want you to build habits. They're going to naturally fit into your capacity, naturally fit into the way that you work, but it's going to help your business. Because here's the thing that I've learned about all this stuff. Businesses don't grow because somebody had one incredibly productive week. They grow because you keep showing up long before that Monday morning excitement kind of wears off. And I mean, let's be honest here. A whole bunch of us have done a whole bunch of challenges out there. And challenges are exciting because they give you this momentum. They give you excitement. They give you, a lot of times, especially if you're doing this with somebody who is an expert, you're learning stuff as you're doing this, so maybe it's doing it for a whole 7 days, or maybe, you're posting on social media every day, or you write 30 blogs, or you create 60 videos, all of that stuff. Reach out to 100 prospects. Those challenges right there, they rely on motivation. And let me tell you, my friend, especially if you are a small business owner who is doing almost everything, your motivation has an expiration date. Because what happens that morning when you didn't get much sleep because your child was sick all night and you're tired? What happens when the client work that you thought that you had handled now gets sent 3 more emails about this and this and this that needs to get done? What happens when your life just gets messy? That challenge kind of quietly disappears, and the work that you did and the things that you learned, because the challenge itself wasn't really designed for a real business owner. It was designed for the person putting on the challenge to help us work through a thing. But I want us to accomplish this 30-day growth habit thing differently. So instead of saying, how much can I accomplish? I want you to step back a few steps and start to look at the things about what you're doing that's going to create momentum in your business. It's the things that you repeat all the time, because repetition is the thing that's going to create the momentum. And momentum is the thing that's going to give you confidence. And the confidence is the thing that's going to keep you moving forward way long after that motivation goes away. And there's an important difference here, because this isn't about checking off boxes. It's about identifying behaviors that are going to create growth in your business. I want you to think about it from this. I mean, you can answer emails all day long and you could say at the end of the day, I was super productive. But what if none of those emails are growing your business? I mean, it's the same thing as organizing files or updating spreadsheets. None of these things are bad, but are they growth activities? It depends, doesn't it? But a growth habit is something that you know for a fact. It's not a depends, or maybe it is, or maybe it's not. But you know it's something that's going to increase the likelihood of you making money. And I mean things like starting conversations in direct messages on LinkedIn, improving your marketing, reviewing marketing results, looking at that type of information, following up with leads, reading about what's going on with your customer base and understanding and learning more about them. Those are the kind of habits that I want to talk about that you can build. So let's build out this challenge together. So you can open your favorite AI tool and begin with this kind of prompt where you say, I want to improve my marketing over the next 30 days. Help me create one small daily habit, one weekly review habit, and one weekly experiment habit that will compound over time, that will continue to grow. That's it. Simple. But don't just stop after the first answer. You're having a conversation. So I want you to look at what comes up and you tell AI this. You don't just let AI give you this information and come back and say, do this, this, and this. You tell AI what type of business you have, who your ideal customers, how much time you realistically have, what is your capacity every single week, what marketing challenges are you trying to solve? Because the more context that you can provide, the more personalized your challenge becomes. And the more personalized your challenge becomes, the better it is it's going to help your business. Because remember, AI works when it understands your situation, your business, your customers, not when it's guessing. So let's focus on this. So if we break this down, we asked for a daily habit, a weekly review habit, and one weekly experiment. So let me talk to you about each one of those things, right? So let's focus on the daily habit first. And I mean, this is a daily habit that should take no more than maybe, I don't know, like 15, 20 minutes. It's not the time that you're doing this thing, it's the consistency. So let me talk to you about a daily habit. A daily habit could be making sure that you answer a question through, a LinkedIn conversation. That's a good daily habit. I'm going to log into LinkedIn every day and answer one question. You could review a part of your website every single day, maybe just a part of it. And then once you start moving through that, you can look at some of your other marketing, your sales pages and things like that. Another daily message is sending one follow-up message, reviewing one marketing metric. The idea is these things are small, and they're small enough that they're hard to skip, but big enough that when you do them every day, they compound over time. So you can put in this type of information and then ask AI, which of these habits would likely create the biggest long-term impact based on my business answers? And when we ask that question, see, I'm not asking how much can I get done today. I'm asking which one of these habits is going to create a long-term impact. And that question is what shifts this focus from just productivity and trying to be, active, to how is this going to give me an ROI, a return on my investment, return on my time investment. So let's talk now. So that's your daily habit, right? Now what we're going to do is we're going to do a weekly habit. Remember, this is a 30-day challenge. So I want you to think about how you can do a daily habit and then a weekly challenge. A weekly thing. So let's build this habit, because I actually think this a lot. And I think this a lot because of the conversations that I have with a lot of business owners, is that this weekly habit is something that I think a lot are missing out on. And I can call it reflection, I could call it review, I could call it any one of those words. But every week, I believe you should have a weekly habit of scheduling about 30 minutes to review your marketing. This is not about vanity numbers. This is not about how many people signed on, how many did this, how many didn't do this. It's to learn. It's to ask questions about what's working, what didn't, what surprised me, what conversations are leading to more opportunities, what content created the most engagement this week, what questions are customers asking. And then when we have this type of information, we're now learning about what's going on and the work that we've been doing, and then we just invite AI into this discussion. And we use a prompt like act as my marketing strategist. Based on this week's result, what patterns do you notice, and what should I focus on next week? Put your information in. And this turns AI into a thinking partner instead of some content marketing tool. Now, we've done our daily habit and our weekly review habit. So let's think about this other habit. This is where the challenge is going to get fun. I want you to do something different. What I want you to do is I want you to think about an experiment habit. So every week, I want you to test something new. Not 10, not 1. Maybe you experiment with like a different call to action. Maybe it's not going to your homepage. Maybe it's going directly to a blog page. Maybe what we're doing is we're changing out email subject lines. Maybe we're so used to doing, we keep our subject lines to 5 words. What would happen if we said 10 words? What would happen if we normally do 10 words and we go down to 5 words? What if we use storytelling instead of tips? What if we ask questions at the end of our post so that we can try to generate some engagement? This is what I mean. Those trying something new, experimenting something new. And the point about it isn't to be perfect and to make sure that, oh, was I doing something wrong and I need to fix it? The point is to learn. And when we do these types of things, we can ask AI, based on my marketing goals, what's one low-risk experiment I could run this week that could teach me something value about my customers, my products, or my business? So now your marketing becomes more like a series of information and learning as opposed to randomly guessing. I think they kind of like this, or I don't know, maybe they do. I do. So if we think about it from that place, we could turn this back around with AI, because one of my favorite ways to use AI is to generate these types of reflection questions. Most people are going to go, well, here's my information. What happened? Well, that's not enough. I want you to dig a little bit deeper, because we're doing a challenge. We're doing a growth habit challenge. Remember that? So I want you to dig in and ask for like accountability questions that I should answer every Friday, or is there something that I could do to keep my marketing challenge focused more on business growth? And you might end up with questions like, which activity created the most momentum, or where did I feel or where did I avoid being uncomfortable, but it was really important work? What marketing activity felt easier than expected? And so what's happening is these are the type of questions that are going to provide you with an awareness about your business, an awareness about how you're running your business. And so when we have this kinds of awareness and we know this kind of information, this type of awareness leads to better decisions. And I think that this is one of the biggest misconceptions when it comes to AI. People assume that we put in a prompt and that AI is going to do the work for them. But I don't think that that's what its greatest value is. Its greatest value is to help you stay engaged with what you're working on, helping you think, helping you reflect, helping you simplify, helping you stay accountable. So imagine opening up your favorite AI tool every Friday and saying, here's what I accomplished this week. What patterns do you see? What should I adjust next week? See, that's not outsourcing your business. That's creating a weekly coaching conversation. And when we do things like this, that becomes a more strategic way that we can use AI. And here's the most beautiful part about this. At the end of the 30 days, it's not going to be like anybody else's challenge. You're not going to go, whew, did I complete that challenge by the skin of my teeth? No, what you're going to do is at the end of it, you're going to say, which habits actually made my marketing easier and more effective? And some habits at the end of that 30 days, you're definitely going to keep. Some of them are like, well, that was kind of cool, and then you'll just adjust it. Some of them are like, no, I can remove that. And that's exactly what should happen. The challenge itself isn't the end-all be-all. It's not the finish line. It's like a testing ground. And what's going to happen is you'll start discovering which growth habits deserve to become a permanent part of your business. So here's my challenge to you. I don't want you to spend the next 30 days trying to become the perfect business owner. I want you to spend the next 30 days being a more consistent one. I want you to log into your AI tool and start with this prompt and say it right now. And say it and have it say this. I want to improve my marketing over the next 30 days. Help me create one small daily habit, one weekly review habit, and one weekly experiment that will compound over time. And then keep the conversation going. Ask it to build a habit tracker. Ask it to create accountability questions. Ask it to help you review your progress every Friday. And because AI isn't just your content creation tool, it becomes a strategic coach. And it's going to help you build these habits your business has probably been missing. And here's what I hope that you're going to take away from today's video. Marketing success rarely comes because we have just created the most brilliant campaign. It comes from hundreds of small decisions that you make consistently over time. And the businesses that continue to grow aren't always the ones with the biggest budgets or the fanciest strategies. They're the ones that they build simple habits. And then we learn from them and we improve upon them. And we use this to keep showing up. So start your next 30 days. Look at a 30-day challenge. Because your 30 days, if we look at 30 days, your business isn't going to change because you're going to have one big breakthrough that might or might not happen. It's going to change because of small actions that you choose to repeat day after day, week after week, until these growth habits become part of how you operate. Not just something you hope will happen in your business, but something that you can see consistently over time. Thank you so much for joining me today. If this episode has been giving you some ideas to learn new skills for your business and for marketing, I would love it if you would hit that like button. And then do me a favor, hit the share button and share this with another business owner, because they need some help. If they need some help with their marketing, if they need some help staying focused and organized, this could be the message that they need to hear. But if you're ready to take your marketing to the next level and stop working in a solo bubble, I would love it if you would join us in the Marketing Strategy Collective. We take all of these ideas and I show you how to turn them into a marketing plan that actually drives sales. You see the links below. You know what to do to learn more, because you are magnificent, my friend. And let me be the first to say, I'm proud of you. Until next time.